What's going on YouTube? Diggy546. This was an abomination of a football game to watch. I hated to see it. You hate to see something like this. It is really disgusting because the Giants went into this half, with us feeling comfortable as Giants fans. 13-13 is how we usually feel comfortable. The defense played well above what those players are supposed to be playing, especially in the secondary. Shout out to Pinnock. Shout out to McLeod. Shout out to Gilbert. Shout out to all these dudes who don't have any business being out there playing against starters, playing against Terry McLaurin, and they stepped up the entire second half. Washington scored 7 in the second half. They almost were shut out in the second half. All the Giants offense had to do was put 3 points on the board, put 7 points on the board, and they couldn't do either one. They had about 6 or 7 or 8 chances in this second half to put this game away, and they decided not to do it. Daniel Jones about 24 for I don't know what he ended up having, but about 180 yards on like 26 passes or something. Not good enough. He ran the ball heroically in the first half. Really carried the offense in the first half because the offensive line wasn't blocking. But after that, the offense just really fell off. Really fell off. Saquon, he does not make an impact. The entire. Now I understand people are eating because of Saquon. I get that. But the entire point of you being a gold jacket running back, a gold jacket player, is that everybody knows you're touching the ball. Everybody knows you're going to get the ball, and you're the one who goes out and wins the game for your team. And you're just that good. Everybody knows Aaron Donald is that guy. And he still makes it happen. It just is what it is. I gotta call it how I see it. And you can say they weren't blocking for him, which is true, very true today. But guess what? Are we gonna pay this guy $17 million to where if the offensive line has a bad day, he's not able to affect the game? Because every single time we pitched the ball to Saquon Barkley, because Kafka was so insistent on pitching the ball to Saquon Barkley, we lost 3 to 5 yards every single time. It did not work one time. So those two, we needed the best from them. We needed the best from them. We needed them to show up and show out, and they were not able to do that. Daniel Jones was kind of doing that in the first half, in the third quarter. In that fourth quarter, nothing. Kafka, the lack of aggression in his play calling is really starting to grind my gears. It's really starting to grind my gears because you start to take shots and you start to be aggressive in that fourth quarter when we go down or when we get tied. You start to take those shots. When all we need to do is just get a field goal, and you're taking shots 40, 50 yards down the field. Slayton needs to catch that though. But all we needed was a field goal. But early in the game, when we're up, when we can afford to make mistakes, we're just running the ball, throw it short, run the ball, throw it short, and we keep getting a yard short of a first down because we're just so scared to make a mistake. We're so scared to push the ball down the field because Daniel Jones is so bad of a quarterback. I don't care how bad the dude is. Whoever is out there, put your faith into him. Because we lost this game. I'm going to tell you right now, we lost this game. First of all, because of a bad penalty by Feliciano to put the game away. A bad taunting penalty puts this game away if he doesn't have that penalty. Because of that, and then, like I said, coaching. This has been the fourth game in a row. I go back to the Seattle game. I go back to the game before that, which was I think the Texans game was out of the bye. The Seattle game, the Texans game, the Lions game, the Cowboys game. I won't say we really got out coached. I'll say we just got outplayed. We didn't have the horses, but we did, and that's one thing. We did not have the horses in the Cowboys game, and we refused to get out of man coverage. We just were so dead set on these cornerbacks manning up. with these wide receivers who are better than them. It's just mind boggling to me why Wink does that. But again, I can't say too much bad about Wink today because his defense gave up 20 points in 5 quarters where they were on the field the entire second half and overtime. So I can't be mad at Wink. I cannot. But that offense with Mike Kafka, if you don't show some aggression, man, if you don't show some aggression when we start to get leads so we can put some of these games away, you can't be the man for the job. You cannot be the man of the job. Like, we cannot be you got to put this game away. 20 to 13 in the third quarter, beginning the third quarter pretty much. 20 to 13. All you got to do is put up a field goal. You need one big play. One big play wins the game for you at that point. Washington, they're on fire, but they're not a hot offense like that where they're going to put up 40 points. So you go up 2 scores against this team in the second half, you know, that's a win for you. But we had the ball 5, 6, 7, 8 times, passive every single time we touched the ball. The end of the fourth quarter, I think the end of the fourth quarter we could have kicked the field goal. It might have been overtime or whatever. But anyway, there were just a couple of times where I'm like, it's 4th and 3, and I think it's overtime. It's 4th and 3. Like, why not just go for the 4th and 3 instead of taking a penalty and praying that you can get them to punt it back to you? Because I would go for it on that 4th and 3. Get down the field, because what happened to Brian Daboll of week 1 where he's like, I'm putting all the chips on the table. I'm going for it. I'm going for 2. If we lose, we lose. If we win. But it'll be in my hands to where it is what it is. But it just is what it is. To tie this game is really inexcusable because we should have won this game going away in the third quarter. So there were some bad penalties on both sides. A missed pass interference or a called pass interference on McLaurin. That flag got picked up. And then a missed pass interference on Nick McLeod, who should have caught an interception, but he got interfered with. So there were just some bad penalties. And then horrible tackling again. I don't know what happened to how great the tackling was early on in the season to it's just completely falling off a cliff. Horrible tackling. Horrible judgments of the ball. Julian Love broke on one pass that wasn't even going to the person. He just broke down and hit. And then I think it was Gilbert. Heineke throws a ball all the way across the field to the left sideline, and Gilbert just cannot catch this ball that pretty much guarantees you a pick six. I don't know why he wasn't able to judge that right, but it just pretty much guarantees you a pick six, and he's not able to get it. So I'm not letting the players off the hook. Definitely not. But I think at the end of the day, coaching is what did this to us. I think at the end of the day, coaching is what did this to us because just a little bit more aggression gets you to 23 points at the very least. At the very least. So, yeah. Other than that, that timeout was completely inexcusable. You got a minute and something on the clock. Your team is getting the chance to get the ball back. It's third down. Whether they're lined up right or not, it's third and long. Why are you using your last timeout of overtime to give your team 20 seconds to get about 25 yards? And we got the yardage we needed. All we needed to do was just get about 5 more yards. And guess what? We would have had about 40 more seconds on the clock if you don't waste that time out. And we're probably kicking the game-winning field goal. Being in a tie is disgusting. Graham Gano missed a 58-yarder to win the game, but this should not have gone into his hands. It also looked like he was kicking against the wind, because anybody that kicked against that kick going that way on the field, all of their kicks were short, all of their kickoffs were short. So he was probably kicking into the wind. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. It's a tie game. This is the first tie game of the Giants since 1997, which guess what was also with the Washington Redskins at that point. It was also with them. So you hate to see a tie game. It is what it is. But at the very least, we didn't allow Washington to get to 8 wins today. So we'll see them in 2 weeks. We got Philly coming up. If we lose a game, if we lose this game against Philly, this next game against Washington is going to be for that third spot in the division, because we'll both be 7, 6, and 1. So whoever wins that game will be third place. Whoever loses it'll be fourth place. Just that simple. The Giants have completely folded in the second half of the season. I don't even know how to feel it, because 1997 was the year I was born. I don't even know how it feels to be to lose a tie game, to be in a tie game. I don't even know how to feel this week. I feel like both teams lost. So it is what it is. But you guys, I always say have fun watching the rest of the games. Have fun watching the rest of the games. The Giants have tied a game that they should have won going away. Uh, it is what it is, guys. Gotta hope that we can try to win a game that we have no business winning next week against Philly.